Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Salt Talk, where we talk about service, affirmation, love, and transformation. I'm your host, Jermaine Alberti, and today we're naming something most people feel but rarely define: post-traumatic relationship syndrome, or PTRS. It's the moment when a breakup ends, but the heartbreak doesn't. When the body's healed, but your spirit is still limping. And when love itself starts to feel unsafe. Because sometimes the scars left by love don't show up on the skin, they show up in the silence. This is Jermaine Alberti, and you're listening to The Salt Talk. When we talk about PTRS, it's what happens when pain from a past relationship takes up permanent residence in your heart. I want to be clear, it's not a weakness. It's not bitterness. It's your nervous system trying to keep you safe. But in doing so, it keeps you stuck. So let's be real. You start second guessing everything. You think, if I trust again, will I just be a fool again? You know that song, Why Do Fools Fall in Love? But maybe you've built a checklist. No red flags, no fast talkers, no emotional roller coasters. But what you've really built is a fortress. You see, PTRS looks like smiling when you don't feel safe, wanting love but pushing it away, reading too deeply into text that says K, and rehearsing conversations that never happen. See, I've spoken to persons and I've heard them say things like, every time I get close to someone, I feel my past standing in the room with me. That's PTRS. Not just trauma, it's trauma that speaks for you. Because trauma has a voice. Let's call it what it is. Trauma learns your language. It knows your hopes, your insecurities, your timing. It whispers to you, don't trust that. They'll leave, or you're too much. You begin to anticipate loss instead of receiving love. You watch joy from a distance, and you even apologize for even just existing. You see, PTRS teaches us that not everyone who says, I love you, means I see you. And sometimes the loudest echo of your past is silence. The moment you shut down because something reminds you of something that happened before. Healing means giving yourself permission to not react to old alarms that no longer belong to the present. Remember, your past should be a classroom, not a prison. You see, this is really personal for me because I've heard, as a coach, as a leader, people talk about, I don't think I will ever fall in love again. And when I asked them, they've said, because the last person I loved made me feel invisible. I can't risk disappearing again. And that right there hits you in a way, because what PTRS does is it doesn't just make you cautious, it makes you question your worth. It makes you question whether you're even worth seeing. And all of a sudden, you start believing safety and solitude are the same thing. You see, solitude heals, but isolation hardens. And so, if that's you, and if your heart feels like it's been on pause, maybe it's time to press play again because this isn't for you to fall in love tomorrow, but what it is designed for you to do is to believe that you can feel again. Let's go a little deeper because healing isn't just emotional, it's physical too. Something I've named postsexual denial syndrome or PSDS. And let me be really clear, this is not a medical term, it's a relational reality. It's something that I have made up. It's something that I have lived experience with. It's what happens when intimacy is withheld or ignored or used as a punishment, as weaponization, and it creates a disconnect so deep that even when you're in the same bed, your souls are miles apart. You see, PSDS is when touch becomes transactional and not relational. It's when there is an absence of physical connection that turns to emotional abandonment. And slowly the body forgets what love feels like. You start feeling three U's: unseen, undesirable, and unworthy. And the danger is that emptiness can follow you into the next relationship. So I want you to take a moment to reflect. If you've been denied affection, you might start denying yourself love too. Let me say this: intimacy isn't just physical, it's been known. And it's been known when you start with knowing that you're still worth knowing. Let me say that again. Intimacy isn't just physical, it's being known. And being known starts with you knowing you're still worth knowing. I was thinking about how God still loves us even after heartbreak. I was thinking about after we've ghosted God, broke promises, even lost our way. There's this verse that says that God is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. You know, I think it's really important because if God hasn't turned away from your pain, why should you? I know firsthand what it feels like to feel as if the divine has abandoned you. I want to be clear that healing isn't just therapy, but it is divine companionship. It's realizing you were never alone, even in the moments you felt most unloved. And when we allow God into our pain, God doesn't erase it, but God has a way sometime of repurposing it. And suddenly, what once was our wounds becomes our wisdom. Well, it wouldn't be the salt talk if we didn't talk about salt. So let's talk about what healing looks like through the SALT model of service, affirmation, love, and transformation. The S, service, in this instance stands for us serving ourselves through restoration, not just surviving our healing, but literally stewarding it. That means that we need to take a four-pronged approach of therapy, prayer, community, journaling. Those four things alone can be so very powerful, but there's one more, and that's solitude. All five of these things count as acts of service, not to others, but to your soul. Well, the A, in the SALT model stands for affirmation. We have to remind ourselves that you're not too broken to be loved. And so saying daily, I'm healing, not hiding. I can love again without losing myself. Friends, words have power. So speak gently to your reflection. Well, the L, as we know in the SALT model, stands for love. And love is not a reward, it's a right. Sometimes we feel a need to earn love. But if you're going to be in my life, it's a right that you love me. And if someone made you believe that you had to earn that love, that you had to earn that tenderness, I want you to forgive them, but don't repeat their lesson, because real love doesn't compete with your peace. That is so good. I'm going to say it again. Real love does not compete with your peace. Well, as you know, the T in the SALT model is transformation. And transformation, people tend to think that means becoming new, but it's not. It's remembering who you were before the pain and realizing that you are still that creative, hopeful, soft-hearted version of yourself. And you don't have to become bitter, resentful, and hard. No, you can allow all that you've gone through to make you wiser, stronger, and even more sacred. Well, let's end with a moment of stillness. Take a breath with me, inhale peace, and exhale fear. Once again, I want you to take a breath with me and inhale peace and exhale fear. And ask yourself these three questions. Question number one, what story am I still carrying that no longer belongs to me? Number two, have I mistaken protection for purpose? And number three, what would it look like to love again, not perfectly, but presently? You see, you are not hard to love. You are learning to receive love in a way that doesn't betray your healing, and that's sacred work. So I want you to remember, Healing isn't about getting back to who you were. It's about becoming who you were always meant to be, even after love hurt. Well, this has been the Salt Talk with Jermaine Alberty. And may you continue to serve, affirm, love, and transform, because healing hearts create healed communities. Until next time, stay salty. This is Jermaine Alberty, and you're listening to the Salt Talk.